Hey guys, how you doing? This is Manga, etc. And I'm here today to bring you the review for Fire Force manga chapters 154 to 160. I think that's what we'll cover. But you know how I do. These usually come in blocks, so this is going to be the block for this occasion. If you're not familiar with how I do these, I read the chapter, I review them, but it's all in one big video. So for chapter 154, what happens? Maki goes back to the army. Fairly simple. We see Hinwa saying, "Yo, you need to go back." She goes back and get a little insight into her life back within the army. And now, obviously, she's not happy about it. We also see that everybody else is not happy about it. Tamaki is not happy about it. Arthur's not happy about it. Shinra's not happy about it. Everyone's not happy about it, but you know, some people are showing it in different ways, and some people are showing it more than others. We get this whole thing with how Maki feels like her father and Hinawa don't trust her. Yes, kind of rightly so. They both want to protect Hinawa and her dad and Maki's dad. They both want to be protecting her, but they don't trust her to make her own decision. So rightly so. As we've seen from this chapter, Maki leaves. Now, you can get sad about it, like, oh my gosh, Maki left, but this is anime. Usually when people leave, they come back. Classic example of this is One Piece. Nami left, she came back. Usopp left, he came back. Robin left, she came back. So, yeah, that's probably going to be the thing of this arc with Maki staying in the army. Some danger will probably arise. They need her help, quote unquote. Maki goes to their rescue, helps them out in that situation, gets the approval of her dad, probably, and joins the 8th full term permanently. The last thing to mention that happened within this chapter is that we find out the seconds will be teaming up with the 8ths. And at the end of this chapter, we see Arthur and not Arthur, sorry, Victor Light, I think his name is, I forget his name, scientist dude. We see him and I think it was Obi, I can't remember right now, but basically they've met up with the commander of the seconds, and he's a bit crazy, you know, he's training his head, doing the head and neck, you know, his head and neck day for him. Yeah, so we'll see what happens next. This chapter will get a 3-star rating. So 3-star rating. Manga chapter 155 review. We learn of the plan, divide and conquer. So the seconds have got more men in their force. So for them, really, it's not as big of a deal. But for the 8ths, mentioned it is a big deal. It was mentioned by Shinra as well. He mentions that this is the first time ever that they've been split up like this, because they have to split up and it's one man from their team each with a bunch of the seconds, but this is exactly what it is. So they've divided like that so they can infiltrate as many of these entrances as possible at one time. So it's basically seeing who's going to be with who, and either them at the entrance or them going in, whatever. But that was basically what the chapter was about. Things I want to mention there. Arthur's bit. No, that was funny. That was kind of funny. I was feeling it just a little bit of it coming, almost clear coming out. I can see the humor in that side. That's cool. That was cool. The bit with Maki's bro, the detective. That was okay. What's going on there? Because it's not the first time that someone has said that Hinawa has tricked Maki. First it was the dad, now it was the bro, and now we'll probably get something more about that later on. But what I do see happening is because it's quite clear Maki's bro don't like Hinawa, and I can see I can see both actually. A confrontation moment where they're like, where he's like, I don't need your help, and he's like, yo, like, we're here together right now. We need to work together. So we need to work this out. So they probably do have that where they deal with the problem, and maybe this final bit is not necessary, but we might have a bit where where he's like, "Do you know what? We did this together. I misunderstood you. Do you know what? We bros now. We bros now." I can see that coming. The final, actually not the final thing. I'm gonna make it the final thing. What I'm gonna talk about next is the end bit where we have Mr. like whatever his name is, man, mad scientist dude. Yeah, we have him, his party. They run into some flame humans down here. Now, the person leading them mentioned something about the what was it? I got the page still up. I might as well read it. She mentions the Knights of the Flame Ash, the Ash Flame, I should say. Now, I think these are the flame humans that we've gotten up until now, but she now mentions the Knights of the Purple Smoke. So there's something going on there that we do not yet know. So, but if I'm thinking, if it is what I think it's going to be, it all goes back to how these flame humans are stronger than others. And I mentioned previously, we are always told this, but it's very rarely ever shown effectively, if not at all. So there is that. The last thing I want to talk about, you have probably guessed it, Maki. Now, it's been a long time since I've read the Fire Force chapter. I had forgotten about Little Miss Lewd, Little Miss Fan Service. I kid you not. I spent quite a bit of time staring at the page, and it's not because I wanted to see her panties. It was because I was like, oh my bloody gosh. Are we really going down this route again? Of course we are. I was like, why? Like, this don't make no sense. I know this is anime and anime don't work on the logics of the real world, but I think this is beyond anime logic. How do you put your hand out to shake someone's hand and then naked? It don't make no sense. I'm just like, allow it, man. That's some serious. I don't talk about the mangaka right now. Some serious perving you're doing, bro. You need to stop. It's not funny no more. It's not funny no more. You need to stop. Stop it. Stop it. But that's everything I gotta say about this chapter. I'm gonna leave it with a 3-star rating. See you in the next one. Fire Force, a manga chapter 156 review. Let me just clear something up right off the bat. I think I was wrong about the Knights of the Purple Smoke. That is something completely different. But anyway, let's get into the review. Yeah, so, boy. Do not try to throw me in a little backstory for a character who is completely unknown and expect me to care about them. Mr. Jonas, I think his name was. He was killed fairly quickly within this chapter, and in the moments before he died, we are shown his backstory. You know, he had the wife and the kid. He was one mission away from retirement. I could not feel for you, Mr. Man, I'm not really previous. So I'm sorry, not sorry that you had to die over this chapter. I know I'm always bashing on Flame Humans or Infernos as now the whoever subs these chapters are calling them now, but they seem to be doing bits within this chapter. And they got a couple kills in. So round of applause to them. So the rest of the chapter / the majority of the chapter, we was focusing on Mr. Forgetful, learning a bit about his powers. He can see thermal, and he's also trigger happy, just like Hinoa. So when I was seeing all that impressive stuff, I'm like, yeah, that's good, but if you go up against my boy Hinoa, he will show you the levels you're not gonna beat him, kind of thing. But sadly, not. I mean, sadly, so I should say, it's not possible forever for us to get this fight because as impressive as this Mister Forgetful was, he did all of that stuff in this chapter, all them trick shots, only to get one banged, one shotted. Seconds, if not minutes later. I'll say minutes, I'll be kind. To get one shot in minutes later. Quite violently as well. And took up the head. I'm like, ooh. Ooh. From there, I was like, whoa, boy. And that's what made me lead to believe I was wrong about, these Purple Knights. These Purple Knights are people completely different. Wearing KKK hoods, I'm not offended. I'm just saying. But wait, if someone as impressive and skilled as him, based on this one chapter really, can get defeated so easily, and you can say he was off guard, but you can say he was on guard because he did warn Juggernaut not to keep going back, but you could say that like he used his reaction time to give Juggernaut the warning to save him rather than getting hit. Because you could say that if he didn't warn Juggernaut, he would have got hit, he would have died. But you can also say that Mr. Forgetful could have got the warning whatsoever, blocked the attack so they both could have escaped. So I don't know, it's a hard one. But regardless of that, let's just say Mr. Forgetful is skilled. If someone can, as skilled as him, get defeated so easily, it just hypes up the threats of what could possibly be the Purple Knights. And if they Purple Knights are of that high of a grade of skill, then Juggernaut and Tamaki are going to have a problem. And it seems like they are face to face with a female member right now. So Miss Tamaki's lewd syndrome is not going to help them. Regardless of that, decent chapter, standard 3-star rating. See you in the next one. Fire Force Manga Chapter 157 review. Tamaki versus what's her name? One of the knights that we are faced with right now, and she is getting smacked up. She's getting worked in. However you want to phrase it, Tamaki is not looking good right now, on the verge of death. And as she's getting smacked up, I noticed, and I don't think it's a hard thing to notice, you probably noticed it as well, the clothes are getting ripped up. So I'm just thinking to myself, and I'm just waiting, watching closely for this to turn into a fan service moment. Luckily it didn't. So I was waiting for that, it didn't come, and I was happy for that because I was just waiting because when it comes to Tamaki's fights, all of them so far, and just her in general, it's just everything turns into a comic relief moment. So, and the fan service moment as well. So I'm glad that didn't happen this time around. But it then got me wondering, like, yo, why is Tamaki so weak, so useless, so just unnecessary? And it's deep as well, because you need to remember what division she is from. She's a rookie from the first. So that means she should be, somewhat impressive, but boy, no. Not the case. We see her getting welled in, we see her having flashbacks to Shinra, and then she even forgets that she's a Fire Force member, forgets she's from the first, forgets she should be able to protect her damn self, and says, yo, Shinra, come save me. He doesn't come though, And I'm a bit surprised if he did come, like, how did she know haters called? How did he know how to come kind of vibe? But no, she gets saved by Juggernaut. Now, Juggernaut, I'm not gonna say as impressive because I ain't feeling that quite yet, but he is definitely more impressive than Tamaki, and we can see growth from him via the flashback and via, I guess, stuff that we've seen of him previously. Because previously, without the flashback, we just know that he's a scaredy cat. The flashback brings a bit more context. He was close to this guy that just got killed. But basically, even, and the narration says this for us, so we don't have to guess it, that due to his willingness to protect the one that he loves, due to a revenge reason for the guy that he respected, he probably saw as a bro or just a best friend, whatever. He is willing to put his fears aside for those two things and go on the attack, ready to fight. And that's exactly what happens. He attacks this night, and then one blows, two blows, however many blows he got in within the chapter, and at the end of the chapter we see he's ready to go at full force. And that's everything I've got to say about this chapter. 3-star rating. See you in the next one. Fire Force Manga Chapter 158, Juggernaut versus this Purple Knight. And it is what it is. This chapter is about Juggernaut overcoming his fear to come out with the win. Now, granted, we can't be 100% certain if he has got the win yet, but it's more than likely he has got the win. Do I want him to have the win? Overall, yes. Right now, no. I'll be very disappointed if this fight is over, because not only would it mean that this Purple Knight has been one-shotted, but it would downplay how quickly and skillfully that she killed Mr. Trigger Happy from the 2nd Brigaders. So yeah, I don't want the fight to be over quite yet. Let it continue a little bit longer, but before we get the end of the chapter, we see that in the beginning of the chapter, and throughout the chapter, Juggernaut is having, I'd say, a fairly difficult time. Miss Purple Knight, is slicing through him, trying to locate his real body, and then eventually finding his real body. And while this is happening, Juggernaut, on the other hand, is having flashbacks to when he was a child, before he joined the 2nd Brigaders. We found out that he was scared, he didn't want to do it. His mom encouraged him to do it, and then he meets his friend, then he falls in love, blah, 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 motivation, it's Juggernaut now. That's essentially what it is. So, yeah, that's everything that happened within the chapter. Like I said, we leave off where it seems like Juggernaut's got the win, but I don't think he has it just yet. I wouldn't be mad if he gets it overall, but just not right now. I really do hope Purple Knight has still got more to show and give us. So I'm going to give this chapter a 3-star rating, and I'll see you in the next one. Fire Force Manga Chapter 159 review. So, unfortunately, because I thought the fight between Juggernaut and the Knight that he was fighting was going to continue for a bit longer, but apparently I was wrong. And it ended out in a double KO, but it was a death battle, so double death KO. I don't know. I don't know, but basically they're both dead, and that took me by surprise. I'm not gonna lie. For one, I didn't think the Knight would be defeated anyway, at least not right now. So there was that, and usually in shonens, it's not to the death. It's usually like KO. The person lives to see another day. So that was that took me by surprise. And not only that, it's like it's like there's been 3 deaths in like the space of 2 chapters. I was like, wow, boy. But we do get a little final farewell moment from Juggernaut saying, yeah, I did this for you, kind of thing. And we leave off that scene with a bunch of Infernos, and now the body of Juggernaut's dead friend has arisen. You know, no head. I saw two antennas coming out. Kind of creepy. Yeah, that's active as well. But basically, these things are after Tamaki, and she starts as that Fire Cat. You know, half fan service, half Fire Brigade outfit, and now she's gonna have to face off against these foes. Should she be strong enough to win? Of course. Is she probably gonna win? Of course. Do I want to see that? Hell no. Hell no. So anything to do with her escape, especially if it's against for the opponents, keep it off screen and let's keep it moving on. And now I'm gonna move on from saying that. So the next thing, we have the Hinawa and Maki's brothers scene. And now I mentioned previously, I can't remember for what chapter it was, but I did say that there will be some confrontation between the two. They will have a moment where they're like, yo, we need to work together. And there might be a moment where they come to like an understanding. That's more of an understanding for Maki's brother. You know, coming to like, you know, realizing he's not a good guy, realizing he's not a traitor. That it might happen. It doesn't have to happen, but it might happen. Most likely, but that will be at the end of the arc. That scene with them in it within this chapter, that's just building towards all of that. Yeah, that's just building towards all of that. The last bit of the chapter I should say, is we have follow Shinra, and he has bumped into Dr. G. Dr. G is back. Bigger and better apparently, but they're gonna face off, and that's where we leave off in this chapter. I'm going to give this chapter a 3-star rating and call it a review. Like always, guys, I'm asking for your thoughts and opinions if you haven't noticed that. You need to do that because we ain't done yet. 2 more chapters. What was it? Manga chapter 160. I've almost got one more chapter. I'm going to read it now as well. So we're all caught up. I'll put this up. Yeah, let's put this up today. Yeah, so 7th will be up on the 7th. But yeah, so basically, Manga chapter 160, yeah, 160 is just basically Shinra and Dr. G's fight starting. So at first, Shinra has the backup of some members of this, yeah, the second, and I think it was 2 members, and they were both killed off. There's a lot of deaths going on in this arc, but you know, Dr. G displaying his new buggy powers. Not Buggy the Clown, but bug powers. Easy dealt them. Chum! Right in the chin. Both gone. Actually, I think it was only one, and Shinra managed to save that one, so I think he's still alive, but regardless of that, that was the current scenario at the beginning of the chapter. And we find out that these bugs are from that apparently bugs don't originate from the good earth. They're from Madura as well. Whatever, but my man Dr. G has these bugs all up in him, and that's what's given him his powers, obviously. Then we flip over to Arthur and company. Arthur and his followers. Arthur is having an easy time speed blitzing through all these infernos. Easy peasy for Arthur. Then he goes off by himself, by accident, and ends up with Shinra. So we leave off the chapter with Arthur and Shinra about to face off with Dr. G. Can they beat him? I have no idea. Will they possibly do it? What I see happening is that they give Dr. G a good fight with them on the verge of the win, and then Dr. G is going to retreat. One thing I should have mentioned earlier is that we find out that this was all set up for the attempts. They lured in the apes especially because this was all an attempt to get Shinra. Obviously, we know Shinra is a pillar. We know the White Hood's after the pillars, so they need Shinra. So yeah. That's everything I've got to say about this chapter. 3-star rating. See you in the last one. Fire Force Manga chapter 161. Not what I was expecting. I thought we was going to keep on Dr. G versus Arthur and Shenron, but we have moved not on, just to the side, where we have Hinawa and Maki's bro versus Mr. Iron Body. And now during the fight we find out how his body works and how his ability works and what he's doing to make his body strong, big and strong. And now during the fight he's doing a lot of talking, and also during the fight we have Maki's bro doing a lot of talking, not really concentrating on the fight, just asking lots of questions about Maki, trying to have a conversation about Maki, where we have Hinawa, Mr. Trigger Happy, and telling Maki's bro, we need to focus on what we're doing so we can defeat this guy, and then we can have the convo that you want. And that's basically the majority of the chapter. Them going back and forth, Mr. Iron talking, and then Maki's bros will be like, "Yo, I'm trying to talk to my man. You know what? You need to chill." And then we need to focus, and then eventually they get the win. Hinawa and Maki's bro. He said there was a duo attempt, but I didn't really see Maki's bro doing that in there, but talking and the 1-2 defense every now and then. But you know, I basically think that Hinawa could have done this himself if need be. And yeah, there's not much more to say on more on it than that. You could go into the whole thing where are these knights living up to the title? That can go either way as well. I kind of expected a lot because, you know, they're named faction within the White Hoods, so that automatically made me expect a lot from them. But unlike within other series where usually these groups are hyped up, so you then have further expectations of them, we didn't really get nothing like that for these knights, these purple knights, I think they were called, I can't remember right now, within the series. They just appeared and I automatically assumed that they're going to be big and bad. Simply because the one that sliced off my man's head from the seconds, but so far they haven't shown to be very impressive. Mr. Iron, yeah, cool. You have a strong body, but you know the joints were doing bits, so you got defeated. The one before that got killed by a fraidy cat. Sorry, Dragon. But yeah, he got killed by a fraidy cat. The only impressive thing a knight has done so far was slice off a guy's head quick. But apparently that was fluke. But anyway, I am caught up now. I am up to date with Fire Force, Fire Brigade of Flames, and Enshabotai. I will try to do these weekly now because I do believe that the chapters do come out weekly, so I will try. I'm not promising you nothing though. I'm going to give this chapter a 3-star rating and call it a review. Like always, guys, I'm asking for your thoughts and opinions. If you have not already, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. But most importantly, take care. Have a nice day.